Hey there, my savvy home buyers and sellers. This is Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. And for today's video, we're gonna go over the top 5 pros and cons of living in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. Whether you're a buyer, seller, you live in-state, you're out of state, even out of the country, I think you're gonna find this video helpful. Now, before we get on with it, if you haven't already done so, be sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any other updates. Now, having said that, let's get on with the video. Lakewood Ranch, one of Florida's most in-demand destinations. In fact, Lakewood Ranch has been voted the #1 master plan community in all of the US for over 5 years, and for good reason. It's got a lot of things going for it. It's located in a great area and people love it. Now, having said that, not every community is perfect. So in this video, we're gonna go over the top 5 pros and cons of living in Lakewood Ranch. So first off, let's get to the downside of living in Lakewood Ranch. And #1 is traffic. Lakewood Ranch has exploded over the last number of years and the population has grown tremendously. And that's contributed to more traffic on the road and congestion. Now add to that the typical season, as the locals call it, where you have snowbirds and tourists coming down, especially between the months of December and April, which adds more congestion to the road. Keep in mind that you need to plan your driving time accordingly. However, as you learn the ins and outs of the community, you'll find ways around it, but it is something that you need to deal with. All right, downside #2 is the weather. Yes, we get great weather in Florida. That's why we get a lot of tourists. However, for half the year, it gets really hot and humid here, so keep that in mind. Also, in talking about weather, because we are located in Southwest Florida, we are susceptible to storms that generally happens during the summer and early fall months. While nobody likes to deal with these storms, keep in mind that Lakewood Ranch is not located on the water, where the risk of having damage from the storm is a lot higher. Downside #3 to living in Lakewood Ranch, and it's the bugs and the wildlife. Yes, we live in a subtropical area, and if you go to any subtropical or tropical area in the world, you're gonna notice that there's a lot more bugs, and Lakewood Ranch is no exception. In fact, if you've ever looked at houses online or you've been down here, maybe you've noticed that a lot of homes in this area of Florida have these screened porches, and that's to keep the bugs out because the weather's really nice. You want to be outside, however, you don't want to be covering yourself with DEET all the time. Now, another thing to keep in mind when it comes to bugs is that if you live here, you are going to want to invest in pest control. It's not that expensive, but it's something you really need to keep up on because you don't want those critters in your house. Now, when it comes to bigger animals, we have them too, and no one is more infamous than the Florida gator. And yes, Lakewood Ranch has gators, and you can go online and read horror stories about alligators, but I'm just gonna put it in a perspective right here. The average resident here isn't that concerned with alligators. Yes, they exist. We use common sense. However, like most wild animals, they don't really want to be around humans. You just got to be cognizant that they're out there and use your common sense. All right, so downside #4 of living in Lakewood Ranch is a lack of a downtown exciting nightlife. Now, I will say that Lakewood Ranch has a couple of village centers with shops and restaurants and a lot of community events, and actually I find it quite entertaining. However, there are people out there that want the hustle and bustle of the big city, the clubs, the excitement, and you're not gonna find that in Lakewood Ranch. However, if you do still want to, but you do like that nightlife vibe, the big city vibe, we're under an hour to downtown Tampa. We're about 35 minutes to downtown St. Pete. So it's really easy to get there and enjoy everything a big city has to offer. And downside #5 of living in Lakewood Ranch, and that is additional fees. Lakewood Ranch is a master plan community, so when you go to buy a house, not only are you looking at the taxes and the mortgage, but you're also looking at homeowners association fees and CDD fees, which are called Community Development District. Now, many people might know what an HOA is, but I'll just go over it really quickly just so you understand. So the HOA is for the small community itself. HOA fees may include things like your gate, if you live in a gated community, lawn maintenance. A lot of communities will have pools and fitness centers and clubs and trails. So those are all things that need to be taken care of, and every homeowner will contribute through HOA fees. Now, the good thing is if you use those amenities, then you're getting a great deal because Florida is a great place where you can be out all year. And the other fee that you want to keep in mind is the CDD fee. And what that is a fee for the area in order to build infrastructure and to maintain the wider area. So when you're driving around in Lakewood Ranch, you might notice that the main streets are quite manicured. They're taken care of really well. You don't see a lot of trash. We have a lot of parks and trails and public spaces. So that is all paid for by the community. Now in Florida, they allow special districts to raise money once they start construction, and then that fee is given to every homeowner and added onto their property taxes. Generally speaking, it lasts for 30 years, and at the end of 30 years, that CDD bond will be paid off. Now, there is a small percentage of that fee that goes towards maintaining the infrastructure, so you're gonna wanna check into any home that you're buying in Lakewood Ranch in order to make sure that they have a CDD fee that you're comfortable with. Now, there are communities in Florida that do not have CDD fee. You do not have to pay it. Just keep in mind that the infrastructure and the amenities and the size will probably be a lot different. Whether you're pro CDD or against CDD, that's not the point here. I just want to let you know that it is an additional fee that you'll find in Lakewood Ranch. All right, so now that we've gone over some of the cons of living in Lakewood Ranch, let's talk about the top 5 reasons you want to call Lakewood Ranch home. So number 1 is the location. So Lakewood Ranch is conveniently located not too far from St. Pete, not too far from Tampa. We're under 2 hours to Orlando. So it's a really good place if you don't want to live in the big city. However, you like to go there from time to time, it's not too hard to get there. Also, Lakewood Ranch is super close to some of the best beaches in the country, including Siesta Beach, Lido Beach. So there's always something to do, especially if you love the outdoors. So the second reason I think you're gonna love Lakewood Ranch is its access to amenities. So being the #1 master plan community in the US for 5 years running, there's a reason, and that's because Lakewood Ranch was built with this ideal in mind when they first started. Remember, Lakewood Ranch isn't just one master plan community, it's a collection of well over 20 communities that all combine together to add even more amenities. To give you an example, Lakewood Ranch has a number of great public parks, an extensive trail system. We have a lot of sporting facilities such as the Premier Sports Campus, which attracts soccer teams from all over the country. We have 2 downtowns, Lakewood Ranch Main Street and Waterside Place, that have shopping, restaurants, community events, and just great places to hang out. Lakewood Ranch also has a number of top-rated schools and also very close to UTC and downtown Sarasota. Reason number 3 you'll love Lakewood Ranch is the weather. For most of the year, Lakewood Ranch has a beautiful climate. And I like to say, think about it this way. If you live up north, the summer times can be very nice. However, in Lakewood Ranch, you can be outdoors 12 months a year. So really, if you're an outdoorsy person and you like to be doing things, you like to be in the sun, you like to sit out on your porch late in the evenings, then you're literally gonna double your lifespan because you can always be outside. I love the weather in Lakewood Ranch. Yes, we get a little hot in the summer, but for most of the year, it is a beautiful place to live. Another reason you're gonna love Lakewood Ranch is access to healthcare. So Lakewood Ranch has a number of medical facilities, including our own hospital. We're also very close to a number of large hospitals, so we have access to some of the best healthcare in the state of Florida. And the 5th reason I think you're gonna love Lakewood Ranch is its diversity and sense of community. So Lakewood Ranch is a very diverse community. You can find something for everyone here, from 55 plus active adult lifestyle, to first-time home buyers, to people who want gated communities, to families. There's something for everyone. And when it comes to a sense of community, that's where Lakewood Ranch shines. The Lakewood Ranch community has a ton of clubs, so anything you're interested in, you can probably find a club to join. At Lakewood Ranch's downtown, Lakewood Ranch Main Street or Waterside Place, we have farmers markets, festivals. There's always something to do in Lakewood Ranch, and people really like it. And there you have it, the top 5 pros and cons of living in Lakewood Ranch. If you found this video helpful, let us know. Looking for a home in Lakewood Ranch, Sarasota, Manatee County, or the surrounding area? Well, you know what to do. Give us a call, send us a message, and we'll get you set up right away. I'm Jeff O'Leary, the Village Guru. Let's get you moving.